Hi, PerspectiveWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Friday, June 19th. Quite an unsettled weather pattern for the Mid-Atlantic region and really for much of the eastern third of the nation. We have very high moisture levels now at the lower and middle parts of the atmosphere throughout the Mid-Atlantic region, and the combination of an upper level low still spinning over the Ohio Valley and the high moisture content in the air leads to the possibility of some heavy rainfall, especially during the afternoon and evening hours. We really have a daily shot at showers and thunderstorms in the Mid-Atlantic region for the next several days. Primarily will occur during the afternoon and evening hours. Doesn't mean it's completely out of the question to get some overnight rainfall or morning rainfall, but the highest chances of showers and thunderstorms will be during the PM hours, after a little bit of daytime heating destabilizes the atmosphere. And what we're looking at here to start off the day is kind of a combination of the precipitable water and the 850 millibar moisture transport. It's at the lower levels of the atmosphere, the transport of moisture, in this case from south to north. You see a lot of these vectors here. It's kind of a combination of the wind speed and the moisture content, and all this area in green basically has high moisture and high precipitable water, which means if you squeeze out the moisture in the atmosphere, you can get as much as 1.5 inches of rain right in this area, for example. So all of this right in this area right here can see some heavy rainfall. That's the bottom line here. Any kind of shower or thunderstorm that forms today, tonight, tomorrow, and even into Sunday with this kind of a moisture content in the atmosphere can produce some heavy rainfall and some some localized flooding conditions as well, and a continuation of a transport of high moisture from the southeastern U.S. into the Mid-Atlantic region. So looking at this map, it certainly tells us that there's a threat for some heavy rainfall in this very unsettled weather pattern. And again, the best chance for showers and thunderstorms in places like D.C., Philadelphia, New York City during the afternoon and evening hours over the next several days. Well, another whole aspect of this unsettled weather pattern here, not only do we have the high moisture content, but we've been dealing with an upper level low that was situated spinning over the Carolinas earlier in the week. It was really a cut-off low. That means it was cut off from the overall flow in the upper part of the atmosphere, basically stationary. It resulted in some tremendous rainfall in higher elevation areas, especially of the Carolinas, all the way to West Virginia, southwestern Virginia. It has opened up a little bit, no longer a closed upper level low, but it's still a very slow mover, still having an impact on destabilizing the atmosphere. First map we looked at had the high moisture content. This is a second ingredient here for some heavy rainfall, the upper level low, that again creates some instability because basically it represents an area of cooler than normal air in the upper part of the atmosphere. And you throw in some daytime heating in the lower part of the atmosphere and you really destabilize the atmosphere with very warm conditions at the lower levels, very chilly conditions at the upper levels. That's what we call a steep lapse rate, and it creates overturning in the atmosphere, instability, an unstable atmosphere. And that's why the best chance for showers and thunderstorms over the next few days will be during the afternoon and evening hours, because that will allow for daytime heating in the morning to destabilize the atmosphere. And look at this. We have the 500 millibar height analysis combined with the winds at 500 millibars, and you certainly can see an upper level low situated right about in this region right here, because we see the wind flow counterclockwise around that upper level low. And again, it's been a slow mover and it's contributing to the instability in the atmosphere and continues to sit over the Ohio Valley as we begin the day here on Friday. And again, that combined with some very high moisture content on its eastern side into the I-95 corridor region leads to the threat for some heavy rainfall with any of these showers that form or thunderstorms that form both today, tonight, tomorrow, and actually into Sunday as well. And really, the first half of next week looks very unsettled as well, with a daily shot of showers and thunderstorms right into at least the middle part of next week. But here is our upper level low as we begin the last day of the work week. And here's a look at the U.S. radar map from WSI's Intellicast.com. A couple of areas of interest. Again, we kind of talked about that over the past couple of days. An area out over the middle part of the country, and indeed very heavy showers and thunderstorms across the heartland this morning. And notice the activity here in the Mid-Atlantic region compared to yesterday morning at this time, for example. Quite a bit more active. And again, the best chance for showers and thunderstorms will be during the afternoon hours and evening hours, but pretty healthy start to the day here, especially when compared to yesterday morning. Very little rain fell, let's say north of the Mason-Dixon line in southeastern Pennsylvania, for example. There was a little bit of drizzle in the morning, maybe a shower late in the day, but not all that much. Chances are higher today for sure, and one of the signs of the increased chances, the fact that we're starting off the day with enough instability already for pretty numerous showers just to the west, for example, of the D.C. metro region. Again, this area of radar echoes should expand in coverage after a few hours of heating in the morning. We'll see more widespread showers and thunderstorms for the afternoon and evening. And again, any one of those showers and storms that develops can produce some heavy rainfall, some localized flooding conditions, and that threat continues right through the upcoming weekend for the Mid-Atlantic region. This area of moisture tends to move to the north and east, crosses the Great Lakes with some heavy rainfall there, and continues on to the north and east. Well, let's wrap up by looking at the operational run of the GFS at 6Z last night. And again, I want to emphasize how the model, I think, is picking up quite well the diurnal nature to these showers and thunderstorms in the Mid-Atlantic region. I'll point out the afternoon and evening forecast maps here to show the expansion of the green, which represents the precipitation, the rainfall in this case, in the Mid-Atlantic region. And we're starting off the day here, and not all that much activity as depicted by last night's run of the GFS, but we just saw on radar it's a little bit more numerous than what was predicted here by the GFS, and certainly more numerous in terms of the coverage of the rainfall this morning as compared to yesterday morning. In other words, better chance of rain today in the I-95 corridor. Let's jump ahead here into the early afternoon. Look at that expansion. We go from this to this. After some daytime heating, I think the model is correct in putting out enhanced precipitation during the midday. And look at this, it gets even more widespread. Pretty much covers the area from the coast westward all the way to the Ohio Valley. And again, any of these pockets of showers and embedded thunderstorms can produce some heavy rainfall. And one of the reasons, the map we showed up front, the high precipitable water, and that's not going to change. We saw that moisture transport, the lower levels of the atmosphere, continuing from the southeastern U.S. into the Mid-Atlantic region. And that will be the pattern over the next couple of days. Things wind down overnight after that daytime heating impact diminishes, and then we start off the day again relatively rain-free here in the Mid-Atlantic region. But watch what happens. It just picks up in intensity as we get some of that daytime heating, which destabilizes the atmosphere, even more widespread during the afternoon into the evening. And again, as is the case today, any shower or storm that forms tomorrow can produce some heavy rainfall in the Mid-Atlantic region. Watch out for localized flooding. Same sort of thing happens tomorrow night, dies down, starting the day on Sunday, relatively rain-free in the Mid-Atlantic region, and then it starts picking up once again during the afternoon. And as we go into the early part of next week, temperatures will start to climb. We're still at relatively decent temperatures for highs for this time of the year in much of the Mid-Atlantic region. The last several days have generally been below normal. We should certainly be well up in the 80s in most spots here. The first day of summer coming up this weekend. and then we go into the early part of next week. And by the time we get to Monday and Tuesday, we could be pushing, we should be pushing the 90-degree mark in the big cities, D.C., Philadelphia, New York City, and maybe even into the lower 90s by the time we get to Tuesday. Again, maybe 90 to 93 degrees for highs. And then we'll start looking upstream for the next frontal system. We talked about this past couple of days. There's another upper level low that will drop from south central Canada into the Great Lakes, and it'll eventually have an impact in the mid-Atlantic region and northeast U.S. later next week. And we'll have the frontal system to deal with maybe Wednesday, more likely about Thursday time frame, right in this area right here, dealing with the front, and that certainly can result in some heavy rainfall. Talking Wednesday, Thursday of next week in the eastern states here, and then that kicks on out of here, and maybe we set up for a couple of drier days at the end of next week going into the following weekend. But again, a very unsettled weather pattern here for much of the eastern third of the nation, certainly in the mid-Atlantic region for the next several days. Daily shot at showers and thunderstorms with focus on the afternoon and evening hours, and any shower or storm that forms over the next few days can produce some heavy rainfall and localized flooding conditions. That's it for now. For PerspectiveWeather.com, I'm meteorologist Paul Dorian.